All right, these last two examples for the polynomial long division have what we call missing powers. So watch when we write this out. It follows the same steps. When they say missing powers, what they mean is we go from the x to the fourth, we skip x to the third and go right down to x squared. So I'm actually going to leave a little bit of a space here just to remind myself. Some people like to write 0x to the third, and that's going to come into play on our next page a little bit, but I'm just going to skip a little bit and write this: subtract 64x squared plus 9x minus 80. So you just want to make sure whatever power you start on, you want to kind of represent all the powers going below. So x to the fourth, x to the third, x squared, x, and then our numbers. All right, now it's the same thing. Okay, exact same process. You're just trying to figure out what do you multiply x with to get x to the fourth. Well, I don't need any numbers, but I need some more x's. So we're going to multiply x times x to the third. That makes our x to the fourth. X to the third minus 8x is going to give us a negative 8x to the third. Okay, so now I do have some x to the third powers. They didn't start with me, but I have them now. Remember, next step, you're going to subtract these, but when you subtract a negative, it's going to be an add. So again, if you wanted to put a 0 in here, 0x to the third plus 8, you now have this 8x to the third right there. And the rest of these terms, you're just going to drop straight down. So minus 64x squared plus 9x minus 80. All right, then we're going to start all over again. You're just going to look to see what do you multiply this x with to get 8x to the third. Well, we need an 8, and we also need some more x's. Let's put in an x squared right there. Again, when you multiply this 8x squared by x, you want to get back to this first term, 8x to the third, and then 8x squared times negative 8 gives you a negative 64x squared right there. All right, now we're going to, let's do green. We're going to switch the signs or subtract these. And we've got 0x to the thirds. Oh, we also have 0x squareds. Can you see how that happened? We lost both of those terms. We've still got to bring down these two terms. So we have a 9x minus 80 right here. And then we start all over again. Okay, what do you multiply x with to get a 9x? Well, we need a 9. So distribute. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 8 is a negative 72. And then we subtract them. So you're going to just switch both of the signs right here, negative and a positive. And negative 80 plus 72 is a negative 8. Okay, so that's our remainder right there. So we're going to write that is our remainder by just writing subtract 8 or minus 8, all divided by that x minus 8 right there. And that is our nice lovely example. Now you'll notice this is kind of a fluke that this happened like this. It was just a fun problem. But if it has a missing power in the example, it doesn't necessarily have a missing power in the answer. This one does. It went from x to the third, x squared. Remember, we lost our term right there. And then no x's, and then the 9. So it doesn't have to. Let's actually look at this one. This is a fun next example as well. This x plus 1. Oh, dear. Hold on here. We'll give it a second. If it doesn't, we will just go stop this video and try it again. All right, it just froze up on me before too. I don't think it's going to stop, so we're going to go ahead and quit this video. Oh, just kidding. As soon as I went to stop it, it came back. So x minus 1, we're going to divide that into 12x to the third plus 4x squared. There's no x terms. That's what we're missing. So I just leave a little space and a plus 4 right there. All right. I'm hesitant to switch colors, but let's try this. We're going to switch colors. What do I multiply x with to get 12? X to the third. Well, I need a 12, and then I need an x squared right there, 12x squared. So when I distribute that 12x squared, it gives me a 12x to the third, exactly what I want. It also gives me a plus 12x squared. All right, now we're going to subtract both of these. And So that means that we just basically switch the signs of both of them. They're both going to be subtract. And 4x squared minus 12x squared, that gives me a negative 8x squared. And I'm going to drop this plus 4 down. Again, I kind of left that space in between right there. All right, now we start all over. What do you multiply this x with right here to get a negative 8x squared? Well, you need a negative 8x right there. And then go ahead and distribute. Negative 8x times x gives you negative 8x squared. Negative 8x times 1 gives you a negative 8x right there. So that's going to add with our missing term right there. All right, now when we do this, remember you're going to subtract them both or change the signs. They'll both be positive right there. You have 0x squareds. You just have that 8x right here, and then drop this 4 down plus 4. All right, one last time. What do you multiply x with to get 8x? You need an 8 right there. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times 1 is 8. And then go ahead and subtract those. Again, you're going to just switch both of the signs. And you got 0x's 4 minus 8 is negative 4. So you'll just write subtract 4, which is not divided by this x plus 1. And there's your answer. All right, so that's it for our examples on polynomial long division. Stay tuned though, because the shortcut division is something you're going to want to see. So next examples will be our synthetic division.